using flock cameras to help spy for a drug dealer. The department releases the agreement it has with Flock Safety to use its cameras and devices.
25-year-old Seth Elliott was arrested last Wednesday. He's charged with accessing a government computer.
WBTV investigative reporter David Hodges has been digging for answers that city leaders refused to provide until this afternoon.
CMPD has made it very clear they do not own any flock cameras. However, their officers are able to access thousands of them throughout the state and the entire country through a memorandum of understanding with the company. However, nearly a week after one of its officers was arrested for misusing that system, the department had still failed to release that document until just late Tuesday afternoon, when I kept asking for it over and over again. According to court records, CMPD officer Seth Elliott accessed the Flock Safety system when a drug target asked him to run a search on a license plate and vehicle being used by an undercover officer. Elliott is now charged with illegally accessing a government computer. The memorandum of understanding between CMPD and Flock is what gave Elliott access to the system. Now, according to the MOU, search of the Flock Safety system should only be used by officers for bona fide investigations and evidence gathering. It allows officers to view and search still images captured by Flock's network of license plate readers, which not only includes law enforcement agencies, but community devices, which are described as cameras and devices used by businesses, HOAs, and schools. The agreement was signed on February 18th by Chief Estella Patterson. You can read the entire memorandum of understanding on our website. That's WBTV.com. Reporting in Uptown, David Hodges, WBTV, on your side.